Christmas is tomorrow. Oh, Lord, good morning. She's exhausted. Picking though. Turkey picking. Alright, so here's the sitch. I have to wait this much longer for my package. My Rosao, Rosao, I don't know. The website where I possibly found my New Year's outfits did the expedited shipping. It was due to to arrive today, but they require a signature. And nobody was home to sign for it, of course, because we all have lives and jobs and work. Hey guys, oh, look at my little hat. I really don't like it. It's like not, it's too dainty for me. Anyway, the day is going great. I feel like I'm catching a cold and I'm claiming it, which I never do. I know I shouldn't. I'm supposed to be buying my drink right now. I'm totally tripping. I have like a 15-minute break and I'm going to Starbucks to get a medicine ball. I've got emergency. So I need to get water out of my car. And what else do I have? I had a Paul's defense already. So I'll try to do my best to combat what's happening here. But I did not sleep. So it's going to be hard. Hi! Oh, it's so cute. This lady is like so pissed at me because I'm literally walking by people to not run into them, and she wanted to drive oh so bad, like please. You better go around. Anyway, that's my tiredness talking, and also my attitude talking. The truth comes out. I think I'm just at work. I'm doing really good. I'm happy. I came late. I overslept. I'm not gonna lie to you. 7:30 is hard for me, especially with no sleep. Please. Potluck popping, and I'm supposed to be in a meeting in 15 minutes, but I went to my lunch 17 minutes late. I'm gonna be 17 minutes late for that meeting. I'm talking to a guy that I believe I'm safe in saying had romantic interest in me. Okay, he's a gentleman that I knew from my past when I was in college, and I didn't really get to know him then. I don't really know him now. But we'd been, how did we even connect? I think we had discussed fellowship and worship at his ministry. I saw him post something about praise and worship. I love praise and worship. And I mentioned to him, oh, I would love to fellowship with your church one day. And he was like, oh, we'd love to have you. And that was like at least 2 years ago or something. And then this year, honestly, I can't remember exactly how it happened. Oh, I know what happened. I posted on my Instagram, I'm accepting dinner dates and gifts for my birthday all month long. I posted that little meme joke. And he comments and he says, I'd love to take you out. So romantic interest was presented to me. And I had never really viewed him in that way. Like I said, I really didn't know him. And I just considered it because to me, and this is fast forward to what I know now, to me on paper, he is an amazing guy. He is, I can tell my friends, literally everything that I've ever wanted in a man. As far as like checking off the list of having an intense relationship with God. He's active in his ministry. He cares about others. Takes good care of his family. He has a dog. He has his own place. He has his own job. He has his own career goals. He has a nonprofit now. He's helping the less fortunate. He likes to do things, go out. He's active. He's ambitious, goal-oriented. He's like that burly type, you know. I like him bigger. Like, there's just nothing really negative to say about him. Like, the only thing that I noticed that I didn't like about him were, like, personal things. But, like, legitimately, he is just the quintessential, right? Man, or whatever. And so, like, I kind of, like, brushed it off because, like I said, I hadn't ever really considered being involved with him. At the time when he was hitting me, it wasn't too long after I was out of my relationship, so I wasn't too sure about navigating the dating world, and I wasn't really sure I was ready for all that, so I didn't accept it. Now, or I think I kind of just like put it off, like, okay, we'll see, you know, you never know. And I talked to my friends about it a lot because they knew him too. We all went to the same college, and I just tossed the idea around in my head. So here comes this cool opportunity I had to go see a Chris Brown concert for the low because the homie had the hookup. I tried to get the tickets. They were all sold out. I posted on Instagram. Oh my gosh, I'm so disappointed. I really thought this was it. I guess God told me it wasn't. God told me sit down. So Jesus just teased me. I was ready to go. Jesus was like, sit down. Not today. That's so whack. He comments and says, I just bought the tickets. Do you want to go with me? And I said, what? Like, that's another thing that I really think is awesome. Like, a guy being assumptively chivalrous or assumptively what do I want to say? Like, generous is amazing. Like, that's an amazing quality, okay? And I really wanted to steer clear of any type of materialisticness. I want to tell you that right now off the bat, because I feel like that's the first thing that came to my mind. Well, I had said that I wasn't really that interested in him, so would it be right for me to go to this concert with him? I never gave him a chance. Should I try giving him a chance? What should I do? How should I handle it? So I told him straight up. I said, oh, I don't know. I feel like that's too much. I know how much concerts are. I feel like that's you spending too much on me. You know what I'm saying? I'm not sure what you're looking for out of the encounter. Like, at best, I'd be hoping just to have fun with a friend and get to know you better. And he was like, yeah, for sure. Like, that's exactly what I want, blah, blah, blah. And, you know, sometimes people say that and they don't mean it. They're just saying that to make you feel better and to make themselves feel better. Sometimes people say that and they genuinely mean it. To me, he never read as a disingenuous person, so I took it to think that he was genuine. And when he said that, he really meant it. He really just wanted to hang out. He kept saying how he had never been to a concert. He'd love for his first one to be with me, you know, just to have fun. He said he'd come pick me up. So it was like a legit date. I'm not even gonna lie to you. Like, it was a date. He came to pick me up, took me out. Bought me some food there. We had drinks. Another thing I liked, I don't know how good or bad it is to say this, but I am a Christian. I do believe in Jesus above all else, and I do not consider myself perfect. So I do things like turn up and twerk and drink, and I think a lot of Christians who are very devout and also, let's say, traditional frown upon that, i.e. my mother. But I just don't really know how to turn off that side of myself, because it's something I really love. Like, I love to dance, and I really don't drink too much, I don't think. Like, definitely I get out of control sometimes. That's real. But I don't feel like I drink too much. Like, I'm not in any type of alcoholic type of mannerism. I just drink socially, if that. So the fact that I found another Christian, I guess just to give you back history on that too, but the fact that I found another Christian who liked to drink, who liked to go out, who liked to listen to music. I don't know that he likes to dance. I never took him into that atmosphere, but I don't think he was opposed. So it was just like, man, this is like just getting better and better. Better and better. He's like so interesting. So my back history is that I find it really hard to date Christian men. I find them to be very, I don't know how to say it. Like, I just don't find them to be very appealing to me. I feel like they are there's either men who just don't worship God, don't put him first, don't believe in following the commandments or having like the same morals and values as me, or I find a man who is just like overly obsessively like, I know every scripture and I know every verse and I do everything right and nothing can be wrong. Like, and that's just a major turnoff, because I'm not saying like I don't want somebody to encourage me to do better and to put forth my best effort, but I am saying that I don't want anybody that's gonna look at themselves as, oh, high and mighty, holier than thou, and like not live their life, if that makes sense. So it's a hard thing to explain, because I think a lot of people look at Christian and they're like, oh, you're a Christian, you have to do everything right, you have to be perfect, and you can't make any mistakes. And like, no, we're still humans, we make mistakes, and we actually get tempted a whole heck of a lot. I would say almost more than the average Joe, because the devil knows that like we are trying to separate ourselves from sin. And so what's his plan? To bring us back into the sin. So of course he's going to attack us that much more to keep us in the sin, right? So that's just my back history. So it was like, I'm finding a Christian man that's like a regular person, but has the know-how to put himself on the right track, to encourage himself to stay on the right track. And I could just see a good man like that benefiting from a good woman who wants the same, and the two of them being so equally yoked that they can uplift each other. Because I feel like a lot of my relationships have been very unequally yoked, that I'm having to encourage this man like, well, maybe you should learn a little bit more about your relationship with God. Maybe you should ask God. Maybe you should pray a little bit more. Maybe you should have a little bit more faith. And it's hard to tell a man to do something like that, because it's like as if you're demeaning him or trying to run his life, and they do not like that. So long story short is, we went to the concert, we had a good time. In the end of the night, I ended up talking to him, and I shared a little bit with him about my testimony, about some things that had happened to me this year, 2017, that it really let me down. My spirit was really low. My relationship with God was wavering. And this is the first time in my 31 years of life that that's ever happened to me. And I was really uncomfortable with it, because I feel like I was really tough on myself in the past, considering myself to be so in danger of falling to the devil's trap, that I just had to be so tight and keep everything right. And it was uncomfortable to be like that, but now letting loose also drifted me into sin more than I'm comfortable with. And now that I've started down that path, I feel like it's hard to get back on track. It's like once you pop, it's really hard to stop. So I shared that with him. You know what I'm saying? We had like a really deep connecting moment, in my opinion. I feel silly talking about this with this hat on. But yeah, we had like a real deep moment, and it was really nice to have a conversation with a man of God. Like, I just don't know how to explain that to you. He was very uplifting, very encouraging. Just his message to me was, this is your testimony, and now that you know where you were, where you are, and where you want to go, use that and help and share that with someone to help them to get on the right path too. And I was just like, I feel you. Like, I really didn't want this to be my testimony, but you're right. Like, this is just something I can use to bring another lost soul to Christ. And that's important. Great encounter. Left that where it was. No type of like sexual chemistry or anything like that. Only negative I remember is that I felt like I did not like his natural scent or whatever cologne he was wearing. And I noticed that was like really important to me, that a man's smell like appealing to me. After that, we had plans, even before the concert, I think, to go to a Dodger game, because his job was selling like tickets for a charity, and I bought tickets. Or actually, he bought me the tickets too. But yeah, so I said I'd go with him and his coworkers and his friends and his church members to a Dodger game. Excellent time. Amazing time. Again, sort of like a date, because it was like more of a group thing, but he bought me like a hot dog. And like I said, he bought me those tickets. I spent time with his friends, with his cousin. Amazing time. His friends are amazing. Another plus. A lot of times I date men who I do not trust your friends. They are not positive influences in your life. His friends, however, were really great people. Really, really humble, encouraging, educated Black people. It was amazing. So that happened. We went out to eat afterwards, another group thing, paid for my food. So this is like sort of like 2 dates. And I'm very anal about this. I know what it means for a man to spend his hard-earned money on you. It means he's interested in you. He's not just doing that because you're just like such the friendly person. Like, he's interested. And I know what that means. Like, I need to figure out within myself, am I interested? Where do I want this to go? So I started to contemplate. You know, this has been 2 events, okay? So here we go. His cousin that I met, I don't like my ears like that. His cousin that I met was from out of town, never been here. He's super young, 21. The guy that I'm talking about is a little older. I can't remember how old he was, 36, 37, 38, something like that. He's definitely older than me, 35. I don't mean to put you, you know, super older, but he was definitely older than me. So, little cousin, I'm like, little cousin, you and I, we do some of the same things. You want to turn up? Come turn up with me. I don't fraternize with family. It's not any type of like flirting with the cousin. Wasn't interested in the cousin at all. However, I invited the cousin out to an event, and it was called the Ratchet Turn Up Brunch, something like that. Day party. I took him and a lot of other people, a group event, to this event. Did not tell the guy who had been taking me out, because did not think that was something he would want to do. And did find out, though, that he was at work and he couldn't come anyway. So after the fact, I told him, like, oh, hey, I just dropped your cousin off. He had an amazing time, just so you know, mission accomplished. Because I did tell him that I was going to invite his cousin out. I just didn't tell him when I invited him out. He had an amazing time, you know, mission accomplished. He's seeing Callie for the first time. He was, like, irritated. So I respect that. I get why he was irritated. I'm not going to play dumb on this. But I didn't want him to be irritated. You know, I just wanted him to be like, get over it. Like, nobody's interested in your cousin, bro. Don't care at all. It turned out to be an issue. You know how guys are. And the cousin thought there was like a problem. And I was like, no, there's not. Like, not at all. And the last time I saw him, romantically, we went to the laundromat together. So, 3rd date. Laundromat. Cool. It was a cool time. We had a discussion a few days prior, though, about his history with women, and he said something about how he perceives Black women versus other races, i.e. Hispanic women, and we had like we were at odds with each other on how he was perceiving Black women to be hurt and angry and bitter and not accommodating or respectful to their man. And I just was like, bro, like, you can't put that on a race, you know? You can't say that. Like, any woman could be like that. I don't want to get into it with anybody. I don't even want to talk about that. But that's just a discussion that we had, which I did not have a good taste in my mouth after it. I just didn't like that. I just didn't like it. Just personal preference. And I could even be misinterpreting what he was saying. And that's fine, because I'm not going to misquote him. I don't remember what he said. That's just the interpretation that I had. And that's just the feeling that I had afterwards. I felt like I didn't like the conversation. Didn't like it. So just only 2 negatives, right? How many positives did I mention, right? 2 negatives only. 1, that I didn't like the way he smelled. And 2, I'm not really appreciative of his view of a Black woman. All right. So we go to the laundromat. Crazy thing happens after the laundromat. He gets hit by a car, basically. Not bad. He's not like going to the hospital injured, but he's a little scuffed up, okay? And I'm like right there when he gets hit by this car. Freaked out, okay? So I'm like, oh, okay. So this is like, I know it sounds weird, but this is like a 3rd thing for me where I'm like, this is furthering my uncomfortableness. At the mat, we had another little upset where I started to notice that sometimes when he gets uncomfortable with certain topics, he says, we can talk about that another time. We can talk about that another time. But when he's not uncomfortable, he's just da-da-da-da-da, do-do-do-do. He has so many intense things to say on the topic. Like, he's a great talker. And that's probably one of the reasons that he's, like, in ministry and a children's church instructor. He's good at formulating his words, formulating his thought. He's well-versed and well-spoken. And So that kind of like, I'm like, I'm getting to know you and you're telling me to talk about something at another time. We're here now talking about things, getting to know each other. Why would you do that? Okay. So that's like 4 things, right? So the car thing like made me uncomfortable when he got hit. And after that, I really kind of like started to avoid him a little bit. And of course that bugged him. He was trying to make time for me. I was really busy, but I wasn't trying to make time for him. When I did try to make time for him again, or no, not really, but something else happened between the times when I'm sort of avoiding him. He's getting these like eye infections or something. First it was just in one eye. We didn't know what it was. I never got the full story on this, so I can't say. But he was hurt. Couldn't see. Really painful. Then a few months or a month later, it happens again, but it's in both eyes. Really, really bad. 1,000 times worse. Not any type of pink eye or anything. It was something worse. He had to go to the doctor several times. Again, I didn't get the full story of what it was, but I just know it was really bad. He was having headaches, sensitive to light, irritated eyes, they were watering. He couldn't keep them open. He couldn't see, blurry, just all type of issues, okay? Making me uncomfortable again, okay? And then we make plans. We're like, we're gonna do like a little day trip. Let's do it. Let's hang out. We're gonna do this, okay? Tell me why the week before we're gonna go hang out, he gets into a really bad motorcycle accident. Really bad. And I'm just like, what? Like, really bad. Like, nope, you're not going anywhere like this type of bad. You know what I mean? And I'm just like, this is crazy. Like, he's fine, you know what I'm saying? But, like, much more scuffed up than getting hit by that car. And this is only a few months. Like, this is just from summer to now. So that's like, what was it? Like June or July until, what month is this? December. So it's just a few months. So that was kind of like the last straw for me. That like really freaked me out. I'm not gonna lie to you. But I finally said, there was a lot going on with me. So I finally said, I'm just gonna go to your church like I've been talking about for 2 years now. Finally check out this ministry. Made plans a week in advance. The week of, checking with them. Everything's good. The day of checking with him, he is not feeling well. He woke up with the worst headache he says he's ever had. And also from the motorcycle accident, he's having swelling and inflammation. He's like, I have to work later. I don't think I'm going to make it to church today because I'm really not feeling well. I don't want to overexert myself. I said, I fully understand. I was already on my way, so I still went. He sent me this really long message about how disappointed he was, how he really wanted to be there, how it really upset him that he couldn't make it. And he, he just was like, oh, I'm so sorry I couldn't make it, but next time, whatever. So a week after that, I decided I'm going to go back to the church. There's this weird jinx around us, but I'm just going to go. I'm going to surprise him. He'll probably be there, right? He teaches children's church, so he has to go eventually. And I talked to him. He's not feeling good again. I didn't even tell him I was at church, but I was just like, hey, how you doing this morning? He's like, oh, thanks so much for checking. Really not feeling good. I was like, oh man, I'm so sorry. I hope you feel better. So I missed him again. We had one last plan. I was just telling my mom, when me and my mom were getting our nails done, I was like, there's this guy. This is what's been happening. We've been having encounters and somehow he ends up physically hurt. And it freaks me out. But he seems like the most amazing guy. I'm trying to give him a chance to see if like we could spark some sort of relationship. Doesn't seem like it's working. I'm nervous, but I think we have one more chance to hang out. We're going to try going to a play together. We'll see if it happens. He hasn't talked about it recently, but we'll see if it happens. But I really pray nothing happens. He doesn't get hurt. My mom's like, yeah, it's interesting. That's crazy. Like, I'm so sorry to hear that. Tell me why he hits me up. And I'm like, oh, that's so funny. I was just talking about it yesterday with my mom. He's like, what did you tell her? And I was like, oh, I was just telling her that, like, you know, there's this guy. He's really great. He's this, he's that. And the strange thing is that every time he and I link up, he gets hurt. And, like, even if we don't link up, he still seems to be getting hurt. Okay. I don't know if anybody saw my videos on Instagram, but I had talked on Instagram about how there was a guy this year that I fell in love with, but our relationship didn't work out, and it was affecting me. It was making me disappointed that I didn't get chosen in that situation, and you know, now I'm having to navigate the dating world, and it's you know, it's just not easy because it's different for me. So he comments on that, and he takes that to a whole nother level of, see, I knew there was a reason you didn't want to be with me, and it's because your heart's with somebody else, and and I hope you find it. I hope you. And he was just really intense with making sure that every chance he got and every post I posted about relationships or understanding them or anything, that he commented like, yeah, it's gonna work out for you, don't you worry, you'll find it, you and him will work it out, he'll choose you, just be patient for him, just wait for him. Like, he kept like pushing me. I'm not contacting him at all. I'm not asking him to comment on my things. I'm not asking for his energy. I'm not asking for his positive reinforcement. I'm like, okay, bro, you're doing like a bit too much. I see you're disappointed that that things didn't go the way you wanted. And so you're trying to tell me, reassure me that you're okay with it. You're okay with it. But the way you're doing it, it's making it seem like you're not okay with it. It's making it seem like it's bothering you and you're being kind of like petty with it. So I just like stopped kind of like addressing it with him. I'm just like, okay, that's fine. Like, thanks. Like, let it go. But when I told him about my mom's situation, he like blows up on me. He blows up. He says, okay, you're tripping. Something must be wrong with you, because I will tell you on my life, in the name of Jesus Christ, like, I don't even know you well enough to have ever been hurt by you. I was interested in starting something with you, but we didn't start anything, and I've never been hurt by you. I will never be hurt by you. Something like that. And I was just like, where is this coming from? First of all, that's not what I said to you. I didn't say that you were hurt by me. So you're like, you obviously just listened to the message and heard what you wanted to hear. You cannot twist my words. I have audio of what I said. And then I start commenting and I'm like, bro, like, I'm having a bad day. Like, don't come at me sideways. Like, I will come for you because I'm petty and I have a mouth on me. Like, I will attack you. I'm trying not to. There's nothing wrong with you. You're an amazing person. I just don't get why you keep coming for me. Like, no one is asking for that. I said, it seemed like you got hurt when you were around me. I never said that I hurt you. I never said that my actions were emotionally harming you. I'm saying something would physically attack you when it seemed like we were around each other. He don't even hear that. He don't even listen to those messages. It is insane. He continues on to say, you're the one who's hurt. You've been hurt by all these men. You keep assuming that I want something from you, that I'm trying to get something out of you. And I've been trying to tell you this whole time that was never me, that was never something that I wanted. Women always think that about me. Women always try to put that on me. And you're trying to do the same. You're trying to label me to be something that I'm not. One time I had a conversation with him and I told him, I feel like you try to be right all the time, and it's hard for me because I'm the type of person that likes to be right too. So we don't mesh in that. We talk and like, you try to be right, I try to be right, and we battle it out, and it's kind of draining. So I feel like our talks are kind of like hard to have, and I haven't learned yet to relinquish control to someone else to let them be right. I'm working on that. So in the time that I'm working on it, it's hard for me. That's what I told him. He keeps bringing it up petty, like, oh, you say I always want to be right. I don't even get where you're getting that from. Tell your mom whatever you want to tell her. Tell so-and-so, tell so-and-so, tell so-and-so. And he named names of the people that we know mutually. As if, I mean, yes, I've talked about our relationship, but I'm not saying anything negative about him. He's like saying to me, like, tell them whatever you want to say. Like, I don't even care what you tell. Like, he just attacked me. Like, I don't even know how to tell you everything that he said, but he just attacked me. And it really hurt my feelings, to be honest, because I felt like he was throwing things back at me, the whole situation about men hurting me. When I told him things, not in confidence, but I told him things about my life to share with a man of God that could lift me up in prayer, type of a thing. And for you to just take that info and just blast me, and I'm not even like, I don't even deserve it. I'm not even coming for you. I'm talking to my mom, which you probably don't know, but I don't do it often, about a man that I could be interested in and getting her advice. And this is how you treat me. Like, I was blown away. It was so awkward to have my feelings hurt in that way. And I just had to tell him, like, enjoy your life. Like, I don't get what that was. That was strange. I didn't come for you. I'm sorry if you felt that way, but take care.